A record amount of rain fell on Manila on Saturday, causing massive floods that left 80% of the capital city underwater.
The country's biggest deluge in 40 years triggered mudslides, buried homes and turned...
Sana brought over 24 hours of continuous rain. 1 month's worth of rain poured down in one day.
The government has declared a state of calamity in Manila and about 24 provinces in the northern part of the country.
Because it happened an hour. Not day, but hour. Very fast. The only one I can help is to pray for everyone who suffered this last flood. No one else, because I'm just a poor one. I have no money to help for each other. Because I am also need help.
My feel is no good because people is hungry. No eating, no light, all, no clothes, all house broken. Sa ngayon, magtulong-tulungan talaga ang lahat ng Pilipino. Dahil nasa tayo nasa dilubyo tayo kailangan magsama-sama lahat ng kahit anong klaseng national ka o Pilipino ka, o Koreano, Amerika, kailangan sama-sama. Kasi walang makakatulong kung hindi bawat isa. Walang mayaman, walang mahirap. Kasi pag inabot tayo ng dilubyo, lahat tayo mawawala. Kahit sino ka, mayaman, mahirap, tanggal tayong lahat. Kaya kung hindi mamahalin ng kapwa Pilipino ang nangyayari sa atin, walang mangyayari sa Pilipinas.
Help for the Philippines has been pouring in from various channels. Donations and pledges from international organizations and foreign countries have passed the 18 million US mark. Many local corporations and wealthy Filipinos have come forward with donations. Relief groups have also stepped up to distribute goods to victims. And so have many ordinary citizens who felt compelled to lend a hand in any way they can. Gang Bedoy is a part-time DJ with local radio station Jam 88.3. For 8 days, she remained on air with DJ Lambert Cruz for 16 hours straight, dishing out information for the victims, receiving updates from the various provinces, and in some instances, simply giving a listening ear to those in their hour of need.
We became the source of information of very many people who just had, the only power source they had was their cell phone. No electricity to go online. If ever they have electricity, there's no cell signal for anything. So they were listening on FM. So I would always tweet. I would say, can you give me information on if Makati is flooded? So somebody would tweet back, and then I will read it. If I said it out loud, other people listening with loved ones in the area will also feel a bit more assured, and then they can focus on things where they are. I think it really sounds like an abstract offering of help.
Gang's abstract offering of help was something that the National Disaster Coordinating Council lacked. As an agency that is responsible for the protection and welfare of the people during disasters or emergencies, they have come under much flack for its lack of coordination. In fact, during the flood, they could not rely on the NDCC.
And so they would call, and then I say, hey, call the national disaster, and they said, no, they asked me to call you. So just the non-optimizing of information that existed, I think that caused a lot of delay, that caused a lot of additional unnecessary stress. It was difficult and heartbreaking enough that the water is rising inside your home, but to not know if someone's coming, to not know if you could call someone, to not know if someone knows your house is drowning, that's crazy.
And it seems the lack of preparation and inadequate handling of the flood by the National Disaster Coordinating Council comes from an even higher chain of command, the Metro Manila Development Authority, a powerful regulatory body that governs Metro Manila's urban landscape.
Almost 3 weeks after the flood, the chairman of the Metro Manila Development Authority went on radio after me to say that there's no more floods in Taguig. And these are the people who were the chain of command or the chain of responsibility for the National Disaster Coordinating Council. If the chairman of the Metro Manila can say that there's no flooding when there is flooding, how do we expect help?
With subdivisions like Saravina and Bay Breeze still flooded to knee-high, the inadequate drainage systems and garbage disposal have aggravated the impact of the typhoon. Metro Manila disposes of 7,000 to 8,000 tons of garbage daily. The lack of strict pollution policies and inadequate investments in drainage, solid waste disposal and segregation leaves the Philippines at high risk of climate-related disasters. The failure to enforce existing regulations on garbage dump sites and the unscrupulous acts of land developers are now coming to light.
Slowly, as we have hearings, certain culprits are exposed, like the people who built or allowed building of houses over the drainage systems or waterways, this reclamation of this land. There were certain subdivisions very close to rivers that were not supposed to get permits for development, but they did get permits. So slowly, these are being exposed, but will there really be penalties and will someone go to jail or at least get fined for this? That's still a big question mark.
In the past few decades, there have been controversies in the type of land being reclaimed for development.
During the garbage crisis, there was a marshlands right beside the lake or part of the lake, and it started with 10 hectares, but it ended up that 200 hectares of it was filled with garbage, with recycled material, and then with soil, mixed together. And now 60,000 households or 500,000 people live there, and it was one of the major causes also of blocking the major channel, the Napindan Channel and Pasig River.
The floods have worsened the reputation of the current administration, which has faced accusations of inefficiency and corruption.
What we really need to do is strengthen institutions, It's a chain reaction of paying public officials, public employees better, making the laws more transparent, more clear, implementing it better, empowering people to be able to complain.
With the presidential elections looming in May 2010, the prospects of the current administration retaining power seems to be fading. At least among the young and restless in Manila, change seems to be in the air. Young musicians from Manila have come together to organize the Rock the Vote concert, not only to create political awareness amongst the young, but to encourage them to vote and make a difference.
As musicians, we try our best to inspire people, to motivate them. We all live in one country, and we should take action, whether it's small or a big issue.
Everyone here who's been involved in Rock the Vote is hopeful that the 56%, which is the youth of the Philippines, is gonna stand up for everyone. And with Ondoy in context, all of a sudden, it's a pressing need not to have those same people in power next time.
Corruption. It's a #1 cancer in the Philippines.
It's the downfall of our society, and we really want to take that out of the system.
Personally, I think we need new leadership. The upcoming elections is that chance to change that leadership to a positive one.